16 teams, 4 rounds, 1 champion. This is the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I am Johnny Talk Sports, here to give you my Stanley Cup playoff predictions. And I am super excited for these Stanley Cup playoffs. There is no sport, as far as their playoffs, that matches to the drama, action, and intensity like the Stanley Cup playoffs. And without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to start off on the Western Conference side of the bracket. The Colorado Avalanche and the Nashville Predators. The Nashville Predators are coming into these playoffs really struggling. And right now, Saros is day-to-day. So this is an easy one for me. I'm going to go with the Avalanche. And don't worry, I am going to go over the games once the graphic pops up to predict the amount of games. The Minnesota Wild and the St. Louis Blues. And this is a series that I think can and possibly will go to all 7 games. The Minnesota Wild, they have a difficult decision on their hands. They don't know which goaltender is going to be starting in game 1 because they have trust in both their goaltenders, which I think that's a wonderful problem that you have. As much as you have to make a choice, it's a good thing to have 2 goaltenders that you have your complete trust in going into the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I think the Minnesota Wild win this one. And that one I definitely think goes to at least 6 or 7. The Calgary Flames and the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars are one of the wild card teams, as I think this would be an upset here. This is an upset I think can happen, but I don't think it will. I think the Flames win it, but I think the Stars will give Calgary a run for their money. The Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings. This is another series that I think is going to be a good one that is going to go to 6 or 7. I just think that Connor McDavid had such a great season, and I think he's going to translate into the playoffs. I think the Oilers win this one. So the Avalanche over the Predators, I think it's going to be 5. It could be a sweep, but I feel like the Predators are going to at least get 1 game. The Wild over the Blues, I'm going to say 7 games. The Flames over the Stars, I'm going to say 6. And the Oilers over the Kings, I'm going to say 6. Moving on to the Eastern Conference now, the Florida Panthers and the Washington Capitals. And I think that the Washington Capitals experience is going to help them out in this series, going up against the dominant team of the regular season. I like the Panthers in this series, but I think the Capitals, they might just be able to give them a run for their money just with their experience alone. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they have yet to get over the hump of getting past the first round. They've tried year after year after year, but they just can't get over that hump. And the last thing that you want is to go up against the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions in the Tampa Bay Lightning, as their quest for a three-peat begins with this series. And this is going to be a series that goes down to 7. I just know it is for a fact, but I just like the Lightning in the series, as I can't really give myself the confidence to pick the Maple Leafs to advance in a playoff series until they actually do. So maybe next year, if they end up pulling off the upset against the Lightning, which I know that the Maple Leafs, they have the better seed in this, but the Lightning, they are the favorite in the series because they are the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions. So that one's definitely going to 7. The Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins. And I'm going to go with the upset here. I think the Boston Bruins are going to upset the Carolina Hurricanes. The New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins to wrap up the first-round predictions. And there's a lot of pressure on the Pittsburgh Penguins in this series. And I know that there is pressure for every team at this time of the year. But for the Penguins, I don't think it's any different. if the Penguins suffer another first-round exit, as their playoff history since going back-to-back in 16 and 17, it's been second-round exit, it's been first-round exit, and first-round exit. If they suffer another first-round exit, then I question what's going to happen with this franchise moving forward, as Evgeny Malkin and Chris Letang are free agents at the end of this season. And there's going to be a lot of questions going into this franchise as far as what the future will look like after, I think, the impending first-round exit. So I think the Rangers, they win this series over the Penguins. As we've seen in their recent history in the playoffs, they just can't seem to muster up goals, especially in the last couple of playoff series that they've had. So the Panthers over the Capitals, I'm going to say 6, although I could see this going to 7. Lightning over the Maple Leafs in 7. Maple Leafs put up a good fight, but the Lightning, they're the defending champs for a reason. The Bruins over the Hurricanes, I'm going to say 7 games, and the Rangers of the Penguins, 6. As there will be a lot of questions heading into the Penguins offseason on their future as they suffer another first-round exit. Second round now, the Colorado Avalanche and the Minnesota Wild. And advancing to the Western Conference Final, I have the Colorado Avalanche, the Calgary Flames, and the Edmonton Oilers. And joining the Avalanche in the Western Conference Final, I have the Oilers. Eastern Conference now, the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I think the Tampa Bay Lightning will advance to the conference final as their quest for a three-peat advances to another round to the conference final. And joining them in the Eastern Conference Final, the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers. I had the New York Rangers winning that series. And as far as the amount of games that it will take for each of these teams, I think the Avalanche will get past the Wild. I'm going to say in 6, maybe 5. The Oilers over the Flames, I think that goes all the way to 7. The Lightning over the Panthers, I'm going to say it's 6. And the Rangers over the Bruins, I'm going to say that is 6 games as well. And now the conference finals are set. The Western Conference Final, the Colorado Avalanche and the Edmonton Oilers. In the Eastern Conference, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Rangers. Western Conference Final now, advancing to the Stanley Cup Final, I have the Colorado Avalanche. I'm going to say this is going to be a 6-game series as the Avalanche advance to the Stanley Cup Final. And joining them in the Stanley Cup Final between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the New York Rangers, I'm going to have the Tampa Bay Lightning advancing to the Stanley Cup Final as their quest for a three-peat is still alive. And as far as the amount of games in that series, I think that the Lightning, they advance in 5 games, maybe 6. And my Stanley Cup Final matchup is set, the Colorado Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning going for a three-peat, or the Avalanche are looking to dethrone the defending champs. And winning the Stanley Cup Final in 6 games, I have the Colorado Avalanche, as the Avalanche will dethrone the Stanley Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that will do it for my Stanley Cup playoff predictions. Comment your predictions down below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, have a great day and enjoy the Stanley Cup playoffs.